Welcome back to the 12 Talk podcast on what is another Victory Monday. Becoming quite accustomed to these. We have got an amazing pod for you. We're going to be talking all about the Seahawks 27-10 win against the Carolina Panthers. We've got a fantastic guest who we're going to be going through our usual highlights, winners, losers, everything as well. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that happened during that game and our opinions. And we may, if we get time at the end, do a quick look forward to the final regular season game, because it is going to be one hell of a game. Before we start, Mitch, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I am full of cold, but I've done my utmost to decongest and not sound like I have a peg on my nose today. So you're getting the best possible version of me tonight, and it didn't look great this morning.
You always look great to us, mate. It's fine.
Oh,
but
cute.
Before we get any further into this, for anyone who isn't aware, we are the UK Seahawks podcast, their official podcast, and memberships have reopened for 2026. If you want to become a UK Seahawk, you can for as little as £12 for the year. It's £20 for a family of up to 4 at the same address. £5 postage per person outside the UK. If you want to join and you are outside the UK, as I know a few of our listeners and followers are. With that, you get access to social events. You can get 10% discount at the Pro Shop. You can be eligible for game day field passes, and you get a whole bunch of goodies. This year was this lot. We got our coasters, our wristband. We got our 21-year anniversary patch and our card, basically. You can be a card-carrying member. And then you can join us and this lovely lot here at our next meetup, which the plans are in the works. But with that out of the way, Mitch, shall we hit that intro and then introduce our guest?
Yes.
Let's do it. Now, to everyone joining, thank you very much. Our guest today is a young man that I have been trying to get on this pod for so long. Now, there is a little bit of nepotism going on here because we are related. However, this man has played kicker and punter with an invite to the Great Britain trials for those positions, tight end, wide receiver, and quarterback for the Southampton Solent Redhawks and the Solent Thrashers. Watching a live NFL game with him in London was such an eye-opener. I watched it with one of the GMs, one of my fantasy leagues, and he kept looking over around the back of him going, is he a witch? Because he was calling out plays before they even happened. It was amazing. So I hope you guys give him a very warm welcome. I know we will. We're going to be picking his brains and getting his view on this game and the season so far. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Stevens.
Welcome.
Harry, guys, thanks for having me. Bro? Yeah,
right.
all good.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on. It's nice to actually get you on now. It's the holidays from your work.
It's been a long time coming.
You had a fantastic Christmas jumper there as well, mate.
Thank you.
All of ours went in the loft today. That was my big job. So we are going to talk all about this game, the 27-10 win against the Panthers. Now, a lot of people probably thought it was a foregone conclusion. I came away from this game with a mixed bag of emotions. Now, before we go into sort of our usual highlights, winners and losers, I like to get the emotional bit out of the way. So, H, how did you feel about this game?
Well, a win is a win, especially when you're, heading for the playoffs. It's always important to keep that ball rolling. 6 wins on the bounce now. It's always good. But yeah, a mixed bag, I think, like yourselves would feel. That first half was a tough watch, I'm not going to lie. Offense couldn't get rolling. we just got not lucky, but for lack of a better word, in the second half, they sort of fell off, the Panthers. They got tired. We could kind of utilise the soft zone coverage they're playing, and we can have, JSN picking up big moments and Barner sitting in the spaces and just keeping the chains rolling. But yeah, as I said, a win is a win, and that's all we're kind of looking for at this stage of the season. Really, is it 13 wins? First time we've done that in over a decade or whatever. In the
Third
regular
time
season.
in franchise history.
Exactly. Was it 2005, 2013?
Yeah, the 2 times before we went to a Super Bowl.
We did. Let's not talk about that. Super Bowl.
Doesn't this also tie our best ever record? I think 13-3 was previously the 16-game season. So with this now being the 17-game season, it is our record in a 17-game season and can potentially be 14-3 in magnificent style on the last day to secure the number 1 seed. That seems a lovely way to frame it, right?
It's a fantastic way to frame it, but I'm going to leave all of that hyperbole about that last game till the end of this pod. So if you want to hear our views on that, stick around, because my bum's twitching, but I'll leave it at that. All right, Mitch, how did you feel at the end of it? 13 wins and a new pope. There you go.
How did I find it? I thought the game itself was quite typical of what we've done in recent times, being opportunistic on defense, stingy on points, keeping the offense in the game when the offense is spluttering. I think the only real difference in this game in comparison to the previous, 4 or 5 games, was that the run game actually carried us a little bit. And I think if you get one thing right before with this team before the playoffs, it's probably establish the run and consistently get that going. It was only last game that Ken Walker went for 160 yards, and we were surprised by that. Well, now we've got Charbonnet going for 110 and 2 touchdowns. So the run game getting going and the defense staying consistently stout and opportunistic with its turnovers is a great combo. Anything you can get out of Darnold after that that's what makes you Super Bowl worthy, right? When you get all of your assets working together. I got a little stat for you while I'm talking about the run game here. Can anyone tell me which 5 running backs in the league have more touchdowns this year than Charbonnet?
I can't, because I saw the stat.
You can, maybe. Okay, Harry, could you have a guess which running backs this year have scored more touchdowns than Charbonnet?
What's Charbonnet on now? Is it 12?
11. So there are 5 with more than 11.
Oh,
it's elite company.
CMC? Is he one? Nope. No, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's on that list.
Just drawing a blank, to be honest.
It's a who's who. It's a who's who of great running backs this year. It's Josh Jacobs, Jahmyr Gibbs, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, and Derrick Henry. Those are the only running backs in the league. It's great company.
Mm-hmm. No,
it's the company you want to be in, isn't it, from a running back's point of view?
Yeah.
I mean, I was at a friend's house yesterday, and I managed to catch the first half in the house, and then the quarter on the TV, and then on the phone, and then I got home and watched it. And all I can think, that first half was so frustrating to watch, because there were so many. It's like we shoot ourselves in the foot on purpose. There are so many things that should be easy wins for us, but yet we can't get an easy win out of it, and it allows another team into the game. But then, for some reason, we've really become a second half team, and I don't know what happens in the locker room at halftime, what Mike Mack says, but everyone seems to really switch it on.
It's not great for us fans, though, is it?
It's not. The blood pressure rises
every week.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, like when you've been a Seahawks fan for as long as we have, you're kind of used to it. It's been weird. Me and Mitch have been saying this over the last 2 seasons, where you don't have games where you feel like your head's going to explode because you're so frustrated all the way through, and you win with a kick at the end.
Yeah.
Well, this game, I think, it encapsulates how tough our defense is. The fact that we can get the run game going, the pass game's still up in the air. I think we desperately try and get it humming, but something just doesn't work. And Harry, I'll talk to you about that in a second. But yeah, it was just infuriating first half. Second half, everything seemed to click. But I think if we want to have a deep playoff run, NFC Championship and Super Bowl, we need to be clicking from the first whistle. And we need to have our foot on the throat from the very, very start. And I think that's something that this team, where Mitch and I have said it's going to be a 3-year rebuild before we reach those lofty heights, that might be next year where we really start clicking into that. But I mean, there were a few things that I sort of wanted to just talk about. And if you guys have got notes as well, by all means, let us know. Firstly, John Schneider repping Derek Hall's jersey. I say repping, nearly ripping it. It was toit like a tiger. He squeezed into that, but that is some solidarity from the very top. That is very much this man can't be on the field for what shouldn't have been a suspension.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show my love to him anyway. And we love him on the pod anyway. He's just a fantastic player. And secondly, and this is something that's been bandied around various sort of podcasts I've had the chance to listen to today. And it's Sam Darnold's batted passes. Now, we saw quite a few of them in this game. We've seen quite a few throughout the season. And H, as you are an ex-quarterback, I wanted to get your sort of take on it. Obviously, he 6'3", 6'4"?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, he's not a Russell Wilson, Bryce Young, like small QB, but they managed to loft it over an O-line and a D-line. So what could be the issue here?
Sort of, it's not just on Sam himself, it's obviously on his O-line as well, which will come on into the winners and losers later with my pick. But yeah, he's a tall quarterback, obviously not 6'5", 6'6" like the Justin Herbert type, but it's the fundamentals really of the offensive line. We're starting too high, and just the lowest man wins in a football game, similar to a lot of contact sports really. And when you're too high and you lose that balance, the defensive line is just going to get leverage, and as soon as they get those hands up, you're now looking at what's a defensive lineman in the NFL, 6'5". As soon as that hands up, then that's 8 foot, something stupid. So not only has he got that to contest with, he's also got to think about pressure from the edge. It's also a massive importance on the timing of the routes he's choosing. So it's just getting that understanding, and we are airing the ball out less. We're letting the running backs do the work and getting those short yard touchdowns, and then making the defense win as the game. Which is, if that's the way we got to do it, then fine. It seems to be working so far. But yeah, it's sort of just it's the pocket presence that he's got is good, but he's holding onto the ball probably a split second too long. So it's just sort of a quarterback receiver timing issue, maybe I'd say.
So it's the timing, and then obviously because the O-line's starting too high, it's allowing the D linemen to get up and get their hands.
Exactly. And obviously with that happening, it means he has less time to throw. So that throws off the whole timing of the route. If you've got a 15-yard comeback and you've got someone in your face within 2 seconds, then that comeback's not even going to be done yet. So that's where the batted passes come down. And luckily we were quite good at recovering them because of what happened last week with that 2-point conversion. We're not taking any chances now. Just jump on any ball, whether it's whistled or not. Just get on it. Yeah.
It's. I mean, that's because I've been sort of going over and I've been looking at has he got a really low release? Is it the fact I did sort of gloss over because the majority of the batted passes come from the interior.
Yeah.
So is it the fact the guards are too high or too tall for him or what? But from what you just explained there, it makes a lot of sense. And I know you're going to talk about one of the guards when it comes to winners and losers. So shall we crack on with that? First, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's joining us in this live. And if you're watching this on the playback and you've just stumbled across us, thank you so much. As I said in the build-up, we're the UK Seahawks official podcast. We're here every week with game reviews and special guests, 12s from all around the world. If you'd like to hit a like on this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're getting very close to 500 subscribers, which is huge for us, for only being here for 2 years now. It's our second season, and being in the UK, our time zones are always a little bit off compared to our American friends. So Shall we go straight to our highlights first? Because there were some. We've all picked very different highlights, which I really love when we do these because it shows that everyone's looking at different parts. So, Harry, we'll start with you in your highlights. Go on, dude.
So my highlight of the game as a whole was Lawrence on that recovery, the fumble, and forcing the fumble with the old peanut punch, which is becoming massive in the league now. It's been around for a while, but I feel like this season it's happened more often than not. I think running backs and receivers really need to work on that ball security, but not a problem for us if we're the ones doing it. So, and yeah, it's a shame it was called back because obviously he took it to the house and it didn't count. But still, it was an awesome play. Got straight off his block and found the lane to get the ball out, and that was a turning point, I think, for me in the game. It sort of hyped everyone, not just the offense but the defense up as well. And I got some other honourable mentions, but we can come to them later. But
go for them now. Providing they're not what me and Mitch have picked, you're fine.
No, well, I really liked Sam Darnold after he made the mistake, then forcing the fumble, albeit we didn't recover the ball. He still had the gut, and when you've got a quarterback that wants to do that, it's going to be nice for the offense to see that, oh god, this is a guy that cares, and he's laying the shoulder pretty aggressively, actually, sort of like a Ryan Tannehill hit. Obviously, he used to play linebacker in college or whatever it was, or in high school, so he used to hit people for fun. But it was nice. It was nice to see that. Kay Walker with some strong running, and I thought Ty Carter was just a beast. His hit speed is an absolute joke. His pursuit angle's always good. Doesn't give up on a play until he knows that whistle's blown. It's just what you need, and he's really taking a bit of like a leadership role, I think, at the moment. I can see him organising, Witherspoon and the rest of the defense from that you can see in front of him, and he's the way he makes those hits is just, you can hear them, let alone on the TV, but from where I'm sat, I can hear it. So it's like
he's become like, so Mitch and I touted Ty Carter last season. So the little bits that we did see him play, we were analysing it and saying that he could be a fantastic safety in this league. And this season he's come in, he took over Jay Love's position.
Yeah.
Excelled, has come in for Kobe's position. And has looked equally as effective. He has earned himself some money in this offseason. If Kobe walks, I think Mike McDonald will be quite happy just to say, it's okay, we've got Ty Carter. And he's had he's had that game experience now. He'll be able to step into that role and there won't be much, if any, of a drop-off. The Darnold... I had to write a play-by-play for this because I think I rewatched it multiple times. So it was 3rd and 5 on the Seahawks 45-yard line. There was 5:33 to play in the second. Darnold fumbles the snap to start with. Now the snap looked good. I just think Darnold wasn't watching.
I don't think he was fair. He was too busy looking at the defense.
Yeah. So that's a communication issue then. Then it was battered by number 94, Ashawn Robinson from the Panthers. Recovered by Ashawn Robinson of the Panthers, and then tackled and knocked out by Darnold. And then 94, which is DJ Wonnum, who also got a sack on Darnold later. He couldn't hold on to it, and then there was just a mess of Seahawks linemen and Panthers players on that ball.
It's just
that was it. It was like, obviously you coach rugby as well, and it's like when you're coaching kids and something happens that they don't know about, it's just like a mess of bodies that all just try to jump on the ball, and it's like the seagulls from Finding Nemo. Everyone just going mine, and that's exactly what it came about. But it was one of those batted passes from Darnold that just caused so many issues again. And I think it's something that people are really starting to pick up on now with him, and it's something obviously you're going to come to it when you talk about the O-line. But yeah, I had to write that play-by-play because every time I rewatched it, I noticed something else happened in it.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like a batted pass and then someone fell on it. It was a batted pass. It was a missed snap to this, to this, to this, to this. I was just like, 5 times I rewatched it to write those notes. Mitch, what was your highlight, mate?
It was J Love's the highlight was J Love making his interception, because it felt like the spark the team needed to kind of break out of that sort of deadlocked, damp squib of a first half. It really, and I think we've needed that spark from the defense so often when our offense is spluttering recently.
Yeah,
We've needed that, and it just felt like the moment, a bit like Shaheed when Shaheed had the special teams kick return against the Rams. It was almost like you sometimes just when the offense aren't quite clicking into gear, it needs someone outside of the offense to do something that makes them sit up and go, well, okay, yeah, we need to step it up. It's time to go. Someone else has put us in a good position. It's time to go. And then, of course, off the back of that, we then got another short field position following the fumble recovery, wasn't it? And then we did the same thing again. So and that then got the confidence up, and the offense starts motoring. And so I really felt like that was a catalyst for the great second half that we had.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick, that as well. And J Love he's an ever present, isn't he? What a
he's fresh. He hasn't played this year. Yeah. He's come in straight in fifth gear. And I was saying this before we were live. I think you might look at it and go, okay, well, we might be winning games, but the momentum's not really there because we're not motoring on offense and the passing game's not quite clicking and whatever. Yeah, that's great. You're absolutely right. But what is lovely is we're hitting the playoffs now with the number 1 seed, and we haven't got a really long injury list. Mm-hmm. You know, you look at the last couple of times we've been to the playoffs, it's been like, well, who's going to be our running back? You've got running back room in tatters. You've got, wide receiver 1 out or whatnot. We haven't got that right now. And we touch wood, that continues. But yeah, Jay Love's a huge part of that. He's the leader of this defense. The guy feels like he's played 3 preseason games. He's ready.
Yeah, and it's what a time to start coming in full gear, isn't it? Like, the guy's a leader on this team. He comes up with big plays, and he just solidifies that back end for us. And he can hit as well, which I quite like.
Yeah.
My highlight, which is a weird one, was the JSN face mask penalty that JC Horn so nicely gave to us. As we were nestled back nicely, it was 3rd and 21. Because of the sack Darnold took, which I think was the DJ Wonnum sack, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where he just came through, like he just completely beat Josh Jones on the left.
Yeah. I think he lost about 14 yards on that sack.
Yeah.
That just the momentum, obviously, absolutely killed.
Awful. Yeah, and what was it? Yeah, we were on our 39-yard line when that happened. And this is, I don't think I've spoken about tackle technique for a few weeks, Mitch. But again, don't look at me like that. I'm not going to go on a massive rant. But again, it's very much like, why, if you've got someone who is running, to the side of you, is your first reaction to put a hand up in his face? Anyone will tell you. I mean, the NFL, like American football, tackle techniques are dangerous with the head in front and everything. But anyone will teach you from a basic. Just lower your body and dive into them. Tackling was superb last night. How about that, Mr. Evans? For the Seahawks, it was, but this one wasn't, Jonas.
I think he was playing very emotionally as well, because obviously he dropped what should have been the easiest interception of his career.
Yeah.
So he was probably, riled up. And even though JSN had a relatively quiet night, 9 catches, 72 yards or something, he still had the better of Horn. So I think it was a bit of an emotional thing as well, which is always fun when you get inside a DB's head.
And isn't he their only Pro Bowl selection as well?
Yeah.
Which I if I was Derek Brown, I'd feel hard done by, because I think he's exceptional in the interior. But yeah, that was my highlight. Were there any other honourable mentions for highlights that you guys can think of? I mean, H, you've given us some of yours.
I don't know.
I'll tell you where there wasn't many highlights. It always is.
Yeah.
But one highlight for me was just that group of refs, right? That team of refs exposing themselves again as being the worst team of refs in the NFL. Like, that was a highlight. I love that. I really didn't want them to have a rare spot good game, because people are watching us at the moment, and they were just exposed. That was a highlight for me.
Yeah, the thing is, we're not the only team in the league where the ref's been sort of sus. There's been so many suspect refereeing decisions this year, and it leads into the conspiracy narrative of the league scripted, all that type of thing. And I get it, but then I also look at it and go, "Oh, the horse collar."
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Great
Yeah.
example of it.
Yeah,
That was a great example. Yeah, that was awful refereeing. I mean, I was watching with my friend he's a novice Seahawks fan. I'm trying to bring him on. And as soon as it happened, I called the horse collar. And he went, "What? What are you on about?" And he went, "Oh, they didn't call anything." And then when they replayed it, when the commentary team went, "That's a horse collar," I was like, "Oh, yeah, you grab the back of someone's shirt and try and
was that
swing
on
them out."
JSN?
It was a horse collar and a fish hook.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you get away with both of those things.
Take your penalty poison. You know, which one do you want?
What I found weird about that was that when JSN got up, he didn't really react. Like, he didn't go to the refs. He didn't throw his arms in the air. And I don't know if that's kind of a testament to his character, and he just wants to play football, doesn't want to be that type of receiver that, moans and
Well,
cries.
he laid
that
it
he's
on
being
thick
held
the
all the
second time, so I think the coaches had a word.
I was going to say the finger poke in the eye. It was very much
that,
hands up. Oh, referees, and he went on for the
that
10
one, I
yards
think,
and then bent up a knee. That was
maybe he had a talking to and saying that if you just shout loud enough, you'll get it.
And the thing is, though, when you're like the top of the receiving yard tree, referees are going to be looking at you.
Oh yeah.
So play into it. So if referees are going to be looking at you, going, "Look, this man's probably going to be there's going to be double coverage. They're going to be really aggressively in man." Play up to it. Everyone else does. I mean, I hate sort of cheating, and so here's one from Jonas. Instead, they called the most touchy PI against Spoon I've ever seen. Yes, but I don't want to go too far and bag on the refs too much, because it's a difficult job to do. They do make bad calls. There's a whole thing around refereeing in the NFL, and the fact they don't have sort of full-time referees with academies like the Rugby Football Union do, where you go through rigorous training and levels to get up to that. But that's a totally different pod and a conversation to have.
Well, you asked for any of the special mentions, and I gave you a dishonourable mention, and the comment section loved it.
I've literally just looked at the comments and gone, they're now ablaze. Right, so shall we get on to our winners and losers?
Yeah.
Now, how do we play this? As we ended the game with a win, let's finish with our winners. So let's start with our losers.
Happily.
Yeah. Harry, I will let you take this on board, because this is a man who has been spoken about at length on this pod and by many other podcasts. Well, I think one of our most viewed and commented shorts on YouTube is when we had Dan Viennes on from Seahawks Forever saying, "Please stop with the Anthony Bradford slander." And I've just given away who yours is, but please go in length.
You can't stop. If he starts playing better, then the slander will stop. But honestly, we were talking earlier about sort of how most of our problems, especially for the block passes, come through the interior. And my God, can you see why? Like, I know he's relatively new to the league. Was drafted 23 or something. 2023.
He's in his fourth year, isn't he? I swear he's in like his third or fourth year. Bradford.
But and I know it's different. Obviously, college D linemen very different to NFL linemen. They're a lot stronger, a lot more powerful, etc. But on every single play, bar about 7 out of the however many offensive snaps we took, he was lost every single time. He can't maintain his blocks. He tries to join in a double team and just gets whiffed, sometimes by his own teammate, just saying, "Get off, you're not helping, I'll do it myself." If you watch a play and watch the running back get tackled and then rewind that play, the person that tackled him is 9 times out of 10 Anthony Bradford's man. I don't know what it is. I feel like he's a little bit lazy. He doesn't really commit to the play as long as he should. he thinks as soon as, you know, the running back's past him, if he actually holds his block that long, then he's like, oh, I'm done. And then he'll just release and he'll stand up. And I've seen so many compilations on TikTok and Instagram. I'll just sit and watch 75 for a minute and just watch what he does or doesn't do, which is the problem. And a lot of the time he'll just fall onto a pile that's already on the floor to make it look like he's doing something. But he's just, if we want to establish a run game, which obviously we did relatively well last night, but that's mainly due to the fact that our running backs have that quick cut ability just to spot a different hole, or we can seal the edge when we've got the 2 tight ends in to get round. And we've got some great blocking wide receivers as well, as in, you know, Cup's fantastic at blocking. Not the receiver he used to be, but he's good in different ways now, which is always handy. Especially, you know, he's helped us quite a lot, and I could come into some ideas of plays that we could do that involve him and his blocking ability later, maybe. But I just feel like he needs to back himself a little bit, because he's not a small dude, but somehow he plays like one, and he gets beat so comfortably. I just think he needs a bit of grit, or he needs to get lit up, or he needs to get something that's just going to ignite, because that's going to cost us in games against a better defense. You know, when those passes are battered down, or Darnold has to release the ball quickly because he's under pressure because it's coming straight through the interior. Against a better D, they're pick sixes, and we lose games. So that for me is why he's a loser, in my opinion. Obviously not a loser. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, but in terms of the game,
in this context,
he is very much my loser. The rest of the offensive line, I thought were solid. Footwork was really nice. The hands, good combat, good fighting. But again, it's something that the AB just gives up on a lot. He starts well, and then one chop or one swim, and he's finished. And he hasn't got the fitness to get round and, you know, get back in position and seal that. You know, give Darnold that extra second, because that's all it takes. One extra second could be the difference between a touchdown and a pick. So
he's been a turnstile this year. Honestly, it has been that way at times. In fact, in a lot of games. I think if you watched a lot of Mike Mack's conferences last year, he talked about poise. It was all poise this, poise that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being ready to seize the moment and do what the team needs to come out on top. This year, the buzzwords or the catchphrase has been shocking effort or relentless effort. That's been the buzzword. And you can look at that and go, okay, well, if you have succeeded in phase one of being poised and ready, applying shocking effort is a great thing to add in there. I think for the most part, the team's embraced that. Unfortunately, I think Bradford got the wrong end of shocking effort and just has not tried on a lot of snaps. I think when you look at it, he does look lost. And how do you win at the line of scrimmage? You win with shocking effort, with heavy hands.
It's called the trenches for a reason. Like you fight in there. It's not a nice place to play.
It's grit and it's effort and it's strength and it's savvy, and so many of those things. If I was grading Bradford on them, he grades out pretty low this year, genuinely. And that's not me being horrible. I just feel like you say, he's lost in there. And when you look back at it, you think, you could have stood your ground at the size of you. Like, honestly, you can be more use than that. So yeah, I think for a team that's moved forward so much at so many positions, he stands out for being not just left behind with his levels, but also degrading a little bit as well, being left behind by the system.
Yeah, I mean, he was Hawk Skull. Harry, you were right. 4th round, 2023.
I thought so. Yeah.
For some reason, I just think I thought he'd been in the league for longer, and I'd seen that much bad play. But then I realised we also had Laken Tomlinson, so I just get the two mixed up. Turnstiles are turnstiles, and he came from LSU. And one of the big things about Bradford when he was drafted was that he is a mauler. He is a people mover. In the run game, he will help you by displacing a D lineman and pushing them back to create an extra hole or that gap that your running back needs. We see none of that on a week.
Every single first step of his is backwards. Yeah. Like regardless if he's going into pass pro or if he's going to run block, his first initial thought is I'm going to get beat, and you can see it, and it's annoying to see because he doesn't go right. I need to be better on the next snap. Sometimes you'll look at him and he'll go, oh, he's pancaked a D lineman, about time. But that's once
D lineman
every
slipped.
yeah, exactly. Once every 25 snaps, it's just not consistent enough. It's not good enough. And when we get into postseason football, that's just going to come back to haunt us.
It is. It's a big area that I think we need to. Sorry, my glasses are on and off today. What's happening? It's a big area that I think we need to improve on. And we thought maybe Christian Haynes would have been the answer, but he seems to be he's suited up every single week, but never actually on the field. Bradford, we spoke about it the other week on the pod. At the start of the season, when he looked like he was a legit NFL lineman, he lost so much weight.
Yeah.
And now, I don't know what they're doing to them, but even Christian Haynes, I saw him on the sideline, and those men are more robust.
They have some impressive guts.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so let you say. But yeah, it's slowed him down. He's not aggressive. It's a constant. Every single week, we try not to have him in our losers column.
Yeah, I know.
Quite easy.
I'm sorry,
we could just have a Badford file.
Yeah,
like every single week. What did he do wrong this week? And like we could gain hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube just by mashing up loads of clips of him. But
it's all well and good being that way. But if you're that way and you can't, or you don't know how to use it properly, or you can't sustain it, then what's the point of it? You're easy to move if you're inanimate, which is essentially what he is a lot of the time.
It genuinely looks like I'm crying now because we're talking about Anthony Bradford, but I promise you we're not.
He says with a quiver in his voice.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't talk about the right guard position anymore. Mitch, who have you got?
My loser was JSN, actually. And JSN would not have been in many loser columns this season. And I want to just caveat that by just saying a very specific why. He was nine receptions, 70-odd yards from memory.
It was 9 for 72, average of 8 yards.
Yeah, so chain moving wide receiver, not gaudy numbers, but when you look at what he's achieved this year already in terms of the numbers, in terms of the position his team are in, he's having an absolutely outstanding year. But the stuttering passing offense is making him a loser most weeks because he was on track for record-setting numbers. He can have far more impact on these tight games that we're limping through sometimes. And some of the throws and some of the, you guys were talking about it earlier. I didn't chime in at the time. I should have done really. But it seems to me Darnold holds the ball, takes too long to go through his reads sometimes. And as a D lineman trying to just blow up the play, if your D lineman is already feeling like he's winning against an O lineman like Bradford, and he's got one eye, he's got the corner of his eye on the quarterback, and Darnold is trying to put the ball into a tight window, you're set and ready to just try and get something on it. It's no surprise to me that that's happening more often than not, because the D linemen are winning against the interior, and they're able to just keep walking back O linemen and then making a play at the ball. So that kind of thing is costing JSN, and at the end of it, who loses out when we win the game and it adds to the record and everything else, and you're looking through that list and thinking who's actually really lost here. Well, 72 yards for JSN in a game he could have had 140. JSN's a loser in that regard through absolutely zero fault of his own.
I think
agree.
This leads on to a bigger conversation that we can have just very briefly. So we got this from Jonas. Hate to say it, but the offense reminds me of the Grub O last year. Fireworks until mid-season, and since then, Seahawks have been figured out. It's and my winners and losers, I'll do sort of loser and winner in a one for mine because it comes into play quite nicely. It strikes me that there is no, and I think Bryce has said this from the Hawk side, there is no plan, and we've said it, there is no there's no sort of like continuation of play. You're not sort of syncing up plays to have one play to lead to another. You're not leaning on your strongest assets. And this year, our strongest asset is JSN. So in a game like you said, Mitch, where JSN should have been over 100 yards easily, even with JC Horn as his opposite number, we didn't utilize it. And we seemed a bit lost at times. We leaned heavily on the run, which was nice because that's what we want to predicate our whole offense on. But then to have a weapon like JSN to go for 72 yards against a much improved Panthers team, but
yeah,
but
it
you know,
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen without Darnold's protection, though. And if he doesn't have it, then there's nothing JSN can do. Yeah, you can bring
like a true quarterback.
You can bring him in on a jet sweep, and he might be able to pick up some yards, sort of like Deebo Samuel does, like that type of wide receiver. You can get him yards that way, but like if Darnold hasn't got the time to set his feet and go through his progressions, a lot of the time with Sam Darnold, you can already tell he's going, I'm throwing to him, and that's it. He'll pre-snap, read the defense, he'll get an idea, and then he'll stick with that, or he'll just check it down to Walker or Charbonnet, and then we'll get a 1 yard gain on a swing, and that'll be that. But yeah, it feels like a lot of the time he's already pre-identified where he's going to throw the ball, and because it's JSN, because he's that threat, a lot of the time he's covered by one if not two people. When he's in that double coverage, you're not going to throw him the ball, and then when you've also got 4 D linemen barreling down in your face in less than 3 seconds, you got to get rid of it. So yeah, I'm not surprised really. But yeah, he is, like Mitch said, he is a loser in this sense because that could have been such a bigger game for him. I'm sure he's happy with the win, but you got to have that bit personal pride in yourself that you want to be getting those numbers.
Yeah,
Bradford's going to come out of that game feeling like a winner because we're 13-3 and we're still on for the number 1 seed. But when you look at your legacy and what you're actually putting in the books for in terms of your own performance, Bradford is a loser there due to his fit in the scheme and his level of effort potentially and whatnot. JSN is a loser in this aspect because we are not productive when it comes to utilizing him at the moment. It's as simple as that, But overall, they're all winners. We're going to the playoffs. Happy days.
Could you imagine if Anthony Bradford comes away from this season as a Super Bowl winner? That's battling adversity. That is, if Sam Darnold can lift a Lombardi Trophy with that as his right guard, fair play to him.
I'm actually going to go to ChatGPT now and just ask who's the worst player to ever get a ring.
Whilst you're doing that, I'll talk about my loser and then I'll go straight on to my winner because they fit in really well. So last week I offered an apology to K9, and this week I put on X that I want to retract it. Now, Charlie Wilson, who has been a guest on this pod, fantastic NFL coverage there for the Mirror US and is it the Independent, Mitch? I always get it wrong. But he said actually, the Telegraph might be. He's going to tell us that we're wrong anyway. K9's actually got more average yards per carry than Charbonnet this year with 4.5. I think Charbonnet's at like 3.9. But I've put him as my loser. And this, I want to caveat this as sort of not backtracking on my apology, but I've had time to sit and meditate. He's my loser because we are not using K9 in the game the way we should be in the games that he should be used. When you look at teams like Detroit, who not so much this season, but last season when you had the Gibbs-Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles tandem, they used them situationally that would benefit them in games that would benefit them. You would have a game where Montgomery would go for over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Gibbs would have 30 yards. But that chopped and changed pretty much weekly, dependent on the opponent. We seem to have this thing with K9, which makes him look awful. I mean, he's at, 930 yards for the season somehow. But we keep putting him in positions where he's not going to be effective. And it makes him look like a bad running back. That happened again today, or yesterday in that game. he was put in position to try and work off a certain scheme which did not suit him against a defense that was not his bag, which was damn right last week with his non-apology. There you go, Michael. And like I said, it's not retracting my apology. This is just me reasoning. I've had a chance to reason it in my own head. He's just not
time
been
for another
utilised.
apology, by the way.
It's the mirror charge. Cheers. Yeah, it's. I put him as a loser for this game because we seem insistent on trying to wheel him out all the time, and he's not effective in certain games. Now let's look over to my winner. Nice little segue there. Is Zach Charbonnet. Zach Charbonnet in this game was outstanding. If he doesn't appear on angry runs at some point for this week, there's something wrong. 18 carries, 110 yards, an average of 6.1 per carry with 2 tutties. And his longest run was that 29-yard step and just go. And this was a Charbonnet game. He proved why he is, he's a starting quality back in the league. But if we don't figure out how we're going to utilize Charbonnet and K9 in different game scenarios, we're going to end up having these frustrating games where they keep giving the ball to Walker and Walker gets stuffed for -8 yards, or Charbonnet is trying to run it up the gut against a team that's got a really, really stout interior, and then he looks awful. I've put Charbonnet as my winner because he had a fantastic game. As Mitch said, he's got 11 TDs and he's in some really, really heady company here. But K9 just isn't being used right. And there's going to be weeks where Charbonnet isn't used right. And that falls on Clint Kubiak as the OC. And I think obviously Polamalu is now on an indefinite personal leave of absence. My God, he said absinthe there.
Yes, please.
Not now. But I think it's something that needs to be figured out. If we're going to become one of these top tier teams, then we need to figure out that tandem. If K9 stays on because we can get him for a team-friendly contract because he sees where this organization's going, then they need to figure out how they use them and when. So there you go. Loser K9, winner Charbonnet. Overarching loser is the offensive coordinator there. But let's go on to the positive bits for you, Harry. Who was your winner?
I'm just going to pull that up for Gary, very quickly.
Yeah,
just saying that Kubiak doesn't seem to scheme for player strength like Mike Mack does on defense. He's found it very frustrating this year. I think that's absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
We think of Mike Mack at the Ravens and what he was doing there. The way he would scheme up the defense there, and Kubiak just needs to maybe have a sit-down chat with Mike Mack just to sort of figure things out, because he's not utilising the weapons he's got in his offense properly. He's just playing kind of vanilla football, and it doesn't work like that when you've got someone as talented as K9. Like 15 carries for 51 yards for someone of his caliber, that's it's not good enough. But then again, you're going to get games like that. Sometimes the defense are clued on and they know that K Walker he's the guy, so they might put less pressure on Charbonnet, and then it's time for Charbonnet to step up. So it's just finding that balance. I do agree with your overarching loser.
We had one where one of our members of our Discord, UK 12 man, but he imagined Mike just tapped a picture of Ryan Grubb and didn't say a word. That was in relation to halftime. But I imagine he looks at Kubiak every now and again and just goes, which means he has to pull it out in the second half. He just needs to learn from the start of the game. It's all well and good having your running back tandem, give them both carries at the start, first quarter, see which one's more effective, then lean on that horse. But he doesn't do that. He's just picking and choosing. Anyway, Harry, your winner.
Yes, sorry. My winner for the game was none other than number 88, tight end, AJ Barner. I thought he was fantastic.
Full title, please.
Full title.
I'll let you do that, Mitch. He's your boy.
Sorry. It's on this podcast, it's Mitch's boy, AJ Barner. And Jonas said, if Mitch's boy, AJ Barner, isn't on there, I'll riot. So thank you. You've stopped a very angry German.
There you go. Mitch's boy AJ Barner
Thank you.
as my winner for the game. 43 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 targets, 3 receptions. So you can't be more reliable than that. 33 yards after the catch, and that's the most important bit. That's why I really like this guy, because he doesn't just catch the ball and the play's done. He gets the ball and he wants to go north. He's putting his head down, putting his shoulder down, and it doesn't matter who's in his way. He'll have missed tackle upon missed tackle until he barrels his way into that end zone. But he's also so important in our run game when he blocks, because he is predominantly a blocking tight end. But maybe Mike Mack or someone needs to have a look at and see if he can be utilised in a different way, because this is the 11th time this season that he's had 4 or less targets in a game, and that kind of says everything, really, because it shows that we're not using him perhaps how we should, because he can catch, and we've seen it, and he's good at identifying soft coverage, especially in zone. Maybe man, he's not the best, but in a man blocking situation, yeah, fine. But when he sits in that zone coverage and he catches the ball, and his first instinct isn't just to sit, it's to turn around and find grass in front of him and head for the end zone. So for me, that's why he's my winner. He's vital on extra points and field goals as well. Sealing that edge. He does a bit of everything. And I've got a bit of a soft spot for tight ends. So,
one of the reasons I loved AJ Barner when he came out of college was that when you looked at that tight end class, and there was a number of really interesting tight end prospects that we could have drafted, he was second in college football that year behind Brock Bowers for yards after catch.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also behind Colston Loveland in Michigan. So he wasn't the tight end one there, but when he was given the opportunity with the ball in hand, he was maximizing every time, whatever he could out of everything.
Exactly.
When you hear him talk, he is super motivated to be the best version of himself he can be for the team. It's everything you dream of in a team player, and everything you dream of when you draft someone low in the draft and want them to maximize what they can be for your team. So I feel like we're seeing a lot of that now.
Yeah. And also, on a little side note, I've seen a lot of people on social media going, we need to give a name to his celebration. Well, it's quite simple. We've got the barnyard. We've always got the barn dance. Nice and easy. But yeah, I think he has been, when Mitch was telling me about AJ Barner in our sort of pre-draft coverage, I had a look and I thought, okay, it could be used quite well in the blocking game. And as Mitch very succinctly has put as well, the reason he wasn't used much in the receiving game was because they had Colston Loveland. But we're now seeing what AJ Barner can do.
Mm-hmm.
He is a leader on the field. He is a hype man. He, like you said, as soon as he receives that ball, when he knows it's secure in his hands, he is head down, going downfield, doesn't care. And that is what you want from a hard-nosed tight end. And
it's fundamentals. That's what you're taught straight away. And players that have that are the ones that are going to help teams win games. And he's just one of many of the ones that we have. But I thought he was brilliant in that game. Although he didn't get targeted a lot, every time he did, and he was called upon, as I said, he got his head down and went, and was that 17-yard, I think, touchdown run or something after the catch. So again, it just shows that he's got that grit, and being that second tight end at Michigan, maybe he wants to sort of put himself out there a bit more, and it's good to see.
Fair, mate. I like that. Mitch, who was your winner, sir?
Well, I'm not going to harp on about this because we went into a bit more depth on this earlier than than I expected to. But J Love was my winner, and it's just the fact that he's come in. The safety room was established with Kobe playing well and Okada playing well. He's come in, and every opportunity he seems to get, he is absolutely at the level he's been at in previous years when given the opportunity. He's super fresh. And he's affecting games in the best way at the right end of the season. So I think J Love was a huge part of turning that game around, as we addressed earlier. And he's looking in great shape and great form to continue leading that defense at the trickiest period of the year.
Perfect.
No notes.
Offense wins games, defense wins championships. That's all you need to say.
Oh, mate, nice.
Correct.
Well done. I like that. Put that in there.
That's all you need to say.
I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's tuning in. If you haven't, you can currently join our Discord for completely free. Join the Discord, join 12s. Harry's in there as well, sporadically. We have got 12s from all over the world. You can come and join us, talk Hawks all throughout the season, the off season. Mitch will pop the link in the comments. If not, it's down below in the description. And sorry, Harry, you have that. Oh, there you go. I'm clipping that up. And also, as it is the festive period, if you are feeling festive and you're in a giving mood, by all means, you can buy me and Mitch a coffee. This is a totally self-funded pod. If you do want to buy us a coffee, a beer, a slice of pizza, a book, there's many options on there. By all means, you can. The link is down there. We really appreciate it because everything that comes out of this pod is from me and Mitch. And we just appreciate you guys being there. But if you want to give us a Christmas present, I would thoroughly enjoy that. So we've done our winners and losers. We've done our highlights. We've done some honourable mentions that weren't on winners and losers. I have 2.
I have 2 as well, I think.
Okay, we'll do that, and then we'll get on to just a quick sort of preview of the final game of the regular season against the 49ers. So my honourable mentions, I have Boye Mafe with a small clap for getting your second sack of the year. I doubt there will be any in a Seahawks uniform next year because he's just not been up to snuff. And also, Mitch's original boy, Mike Morris, for getting a sack. And here we were thinking that Mike Morris was on the active roster until Riley Mills came back, and then he'd go to practice squad. Mike Morris is still in the active roster. He's still on the rotation. He's featuring more and more heavily at the latter part of the season as well, and he got a sack. So, big clap for Mitch's original boy, Mike Morris.
Yeah, mine are kind of a whole. So, I think the special teams unit as a whole, especially the kickoff unit, I thought were really good. We only sort of let up one semi-big return, but Jason Myers is kicking the ball really nicely, finding that landing zone. He's bouncing it right in front of the returners as well, which is not an easy kick to do, especially like with the new laws and how he's had to change his kicking style. It's not an easy thing to do, and he's doing it well. But also, I think Knight, his pursuit is fantastic, and the way he gets downfield after every kickoff, he's always one of the first, if not the first, to try and make a hit or to take out a returner, and that's good to see because he's becoming a bit of a beast, I think, and he doesn't play many snaps on defense, but when he does, he does lay the hammer down, as it were.
He was last season, and then Drake Thomas came about this season and has just been superb. I was going to ask you, like with your predication towards kicking, mate. You've not asked me for a Jason Myers jersey for Christmas or anything.
I know I should have, but he's
kickers are people too.
Trust me, I know. But he's sometimes so hit and miss. It's very, I have mixed feelings towards that guy. But this season he's been very solid, and he was good. He was good yesterday. He does the right things. Dixon as well with punting the ball, finding the coffin corner. He's always good at that. And he's got a great swag about him, and he's a proper locker room guy, which every football team needs.
Big dick energy.
Yeah, like it. Always. Every locker room needs it. So I just think
the special teams energy. Unit, sorry, there you go.
the special teams unit and Zach Knight, I think.
Nice. Mitch, did you have any honourable mentions, or do you want to get straight?
I'm gonna call out the 2 from the chat. So. Riley Mills getting more snaps, super disruptive, really promising look. He seems to be getting up to speed massively, and every bit as disruptive as the interior D-line pressure we're getting from established pieces like Jay Reed. That is a big thing to say too, because those guys, you feel like you really miss them when they're not there. Well, being able to rotate in Riley Mills now looks really good. Yeah. So that's huge. So good one there from Ben. And special mention for Jay Harbaugh, who gets another week. And Ben rightly saying at this rate he's going to get another season. I think we've seen enough to know that at this point. So yeah, no, I think those two are great honourable mentions. Actually, I think the fact that we've not called out Jay Harbaugh as a winner, despite our team being the highest scoring special teams unit in the league, actually we probably dropped the ball there a little bit. We fumbled, I think.
We did call him a Nepo hire from last year, but he's figured it out this year. Also, off the back of that, can we just say, one, Cam Akers filled in as a kick returner and punt returner very, very well. And two, speedy recovery to Rashid Shaheed after that concussion. Yeah, that was not what you wanted to see. But I think Akers did really well. One of the kick returns where I genuinely thought he was going to fumble the ball, but he had a pile of sort of 7 players on him and just kept rumbling forward towards that sideline. I thought was absolutely superb. Right, before we get to any more questions or comments, we have got, without a doubt, the biggest game of the Seahawks season coming up at 1 a.m. on Sunday morning. We'll be in the watch party in the Discord. We'll be chatting away in there whilst watching the game. You guys can, by all means, drop us a message. But what are our thoughts? I said at the top of this pod, I have a twitchy bum about it because this strikes me as one of those games that we should win. We have all the momentum. You know, the Niners still aren't at full strength. McCaffrey hasn't been as good as he was. There you go, Hawks goal. I watched the 49ers last night. They look very hard to stop on offense. You know, Brock Purdy has been doing so well. And it strikes me as one of those games where we could really, really drop a nut when we shouldn't do.
I agree. And I agree with the chat there that they roll when they're on offense. They roll. They seem to just keep the ball moving, and I fear. I don't know why. I've just got this feeling that we're not going to get the pressure that we need to get on Purdy. He has got a good ability to roll out the pocket, and I back our secondary to read his eyes and find the ball because we've got a lot of ball hawks in our defense. But yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about Purdy's sort of pocket presence because he's got an O-line that can hold itself, and I just think we're not going to get the pressure that I know that our defense can.
Yeah, I mean it's just historically. I mean, our run defense has been outstanding this year. If this is the game where we decide that we're going to let someone run on us, I don't want to see it. And also, pretty much every single game against the Niners, they have some third-string wide receiver who comes up with a big player 100-yard game.
Jennings,
exactly. I don't want to see that. I really don't. Time. The worst thing about this season is because we've played so well, I'm expectant now of a good game. But I've been a Seahawks fan for 25 years, if not more. And I'm jaded by some of the games that are big games that we've lost. I won't mention them because people can pull their own out of the hat. And this has all the hallmarks of it. Mitch, what do you think?
I think we match up quite well at the moment. I think their defense has suffered a lot of injuries and parts of our offense are working well. The lack of fluidity there is a worry to me. But when you look at their offense, it needs a defense that can I hate to use the old Pete Carroll adage here of bend don't break. I know that's a league-wide thing, but it needs a defense that are poised and ready to jump on an opportunity to turn the ball over. We have that, and it needs a team with resilience, not just on occasion. That a team that know how they're playing, they know their defensive playbook, they know their answers to certain formations. We have that, so I think our defense are going to give us a real shot at winning this game. I don't think it's going to be much in it. It'll be a one-score game in favor of whoever wins it. But I think our defense are going to give us a really good shot at being that team. You asked me before the pod Josh, to go over some scenarios with the seedings and how the playoffs might roll out. Ironically, if we were to take the 1 seed, our route to a Super Bowl would lead through the Rams to either the Eagles or the 49ers. So I know the 1 seed is the much coveted week off and home field advantage, but when those home games are the Rams and the 49ers, yes, the advantage is clear, but that is not a straightforward task. However, what's the other option? Lose to the 49ers, take the 5th or 6th seed, and play the Panthers, or I've got notes here actually.
The Packers, would it be?
Packers are the 7th seed, locked in on the 7th seed, so they would play this. I think they play the 2nd seed, who is. I've got this note. The 2nd seed will be either the Bears or the Eagles. They're both currently 11-5. So whoever ends up with the better record, currently the Bears get it on tiebreakers. So if they both win their final game, it will be the Bears versus the Packers, which is a great game for the first week of the playoffs. So yeah, it looks really interesting. So I'll just quickly read. Do you mind if I just quickly rattle through
Go.
what I've got?
Go for it.
So as we stand, 1 seed Seahawks, 2nd seed Bears, 3rd seed Eagles, 4th seed Packers, Bucks, or Falcons. That one goes down. There's 3 teams there that can end up on 2 that can end up 8-9, 1 that can end up 9. I think the Falcons, because they play the Rams tonight and then they play next week, they can still end up on 9. So the 4th seed is between the Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons. 5th seed is the Rams or the Seahawks. The 49ers, the way it works out, I don't think they can take the 5th seed. So if we beat them and the Rams win, which is hopefully the scenario we see, the 49ers take the 6th seed. So yeah, and I think I've put here right now the 1 seed looks like it pitches you against the Panthers or Rams. We'd expect the Rams, followed by probably the Eagles or the 49ers. So play 2 games, have a week off, have the hardest possible scenario.
If you're going to be a champion,
what a memorable way to do it.
Yeah, that's it. Be the best, beat the best. It's that simple. And
well, let's frame it this way. We said earlier 14-3 would be our best record for a season. Well, we could have our best record for a season, beat our closest rivals in the 2 playoff games, and then win a repeat Super Bowl win over the Broncos or the Patriots. How lovely would that be? The last 2 Super Bowls we've been in with the Broncos and the Patriots. What a season that could be on paper.
Yeah, it's like we've gone back in time to like the 2013 to 2015s, isn't it? Where you've got the Broncos and the Pats doing so well. I mean, hats off to Vrabel. He's been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I mean, we've got a few comments coming up here. I mean, I as every Seahawks fan is praying for a win. Not only because we'll get the 1 seed and a bye, but also because I had a cheeky flutter, and that would leave the NFC West finishing the way I wanted it to. But I think this has been one of the best seasons for football because there's no out and out they're going to get to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs capitulated. The Eagles haven't done great as well. Who knows what's happened to Lamar and Harbaugh and the Ravens. The NFC West is just an absolute powerhouse. You've got teams like the Jags that have come in, and what are they? They're 12-4 at the moment, aren't they? With a first-year head coach in Liam Cohen. It's the Panthers. After last year, you wouldn't have thought they'd be anywhere near this. This just looks like it's got all the hallmarks of. Hopefully, it's us, but whoever's in the Super Bowl, it could be 2 teams that no one expected, and it's going to be a fantastic run up to it as well, and I cannot wait. I hope everyone that's watching this either live or later on, it will join us for all of our reviews as well. We're going to have a lot to come with some very special guests. We're hoping for a very special guest next week. Seahawks and Patriots Super Bowl would be epic. 2 Coach of the Year candidates head to head. Mike McDonald isn't even in the running. Coach of the Year. Every analyst that talks about Coach of the Year, they all go for Vrabel. They all go for one of these other coaches, but no one's mentioned Mike McDonald. and what he has done for this. There's a few comments that have come in, so Mitch and I will fly through some of these. So firstly, Tennis Ace 40 SC4. There we got S4C. Seahawks lucky. Offense got breaks in the fourth. Otherwise shut down. Defense did great. Those guys can tackle. Completely agree. Mitch, any more that you want to pull up?
Let's have a look. We've still got a few in here.
Just adding on that, we were terrible on third down, so I'm not surprised we were lucky. We got the worst third down conversion percentage in the league. So
I'm glad you pulled that up because I've got that in my notes as well.
Yeah, a couple of clutch moments from JSN, toe tap swag, but toe drag swag. But other than that, yeah, we did get, for lack of a better word, lucky.
Yeah,
that's
football. Any given Sunday.
That's it, mate.
Yeah. And don't understand why AJ's not used more in the red zone. I completely agree. I mean, I'd love to see it. But yeah, no, completely agree. And we got Jonas here on the subject of Mitch's boy AJ Barnett, or my boy AJ Barnett. Talk about myself in the third person.
Rock.
Yeah. How about we'll name his celebration the Albert? I like it. Desperately trying to avoid his first name, AJ Barnett. Maybe shame him with naming his celebration after it. And every other one I've starred in our chat, actually, we pulled up, I think. So unless there's something else, we pulled up a lot of them tonight. There's been an awful lot of great.
Michael, F them all. Talking about McDonald, he'll take the Lombardi to the PNW, and then they'll acknowledge his impact. Honestly, if that is the case, I cannot wait. Well, this has been an awesome pod. Harry, thank you so much for joining us, mate.
No worries.
It's taken me 2 seasons to actually get you to come on. It's not like I see you at family gatherings or anything like that. The only reason you're honest, I saw you last week.
The stars aligned.
Exactly, mate. But for everyone else who's joined us, thank you so much. If you could do us a massive favor, hit like on this video, subscribe if you're not already, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Like I said, we are working on a fantastic guest for next week for the 49ers. He's a 49ers fan. He is a very well-known broadcaster as well. And if I can get him to agree with times, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Also, we'll say a big shout out to our sponsors, Flying V, Vintage Sports Clothing. You can go to Flying V, use code 12Talk, get 20% off your order. And they have got a vast selection. They've got some awesome Seahawks stuff coming up. We had some exclusives come up in our Discord, which are still there for the taking. I'll repost them. But I just want to say thanks. Merry Christmas as well to everyone, because we didn't say that at the top of the show.
Merry Christmas.
I hope everyone had a very
sporting the Christmas jumper.
Harry's still in the the festive mode. I'm not. All our decorations are taken down, and this is our last podcast for 2025. What a year it's been. And I hope upon hope that we will be able to finish 2025 signing off this show in sync. I don't know if we will, but I'm going to hope. So from me, Josh, from Mitch, from our guest, Harry, I just want to say, turn it up to 12. And gentlemen, on the count of 3, we'll go Hawks. Are you ready? Thanks so much, everyone. Happy New Year. We'll see you for the next pod, which is reviewing the 49ers. And on 3, gents. 1, 2, 3. Go Hawks.